I think that the great challenge is that it's often easy in a research university to assume that students have a level of understanding that they don't have. They're not even sure when to begin taking notes in class. They're not sure what to take notes about. They're not sure whether the questions they want to ask are the right questions to ask. They're not sure sometimes if they should be asking questions. Is everybody familiar with the term hegemony? Okay, it pertains to a pattern of so you really got to think at the end of every class, what key words did I use today, and remind yourself and then remind the students to respond if the terms didn't make sense. I like to think of the course as a way to learn to study in the social sciences. That for the most part, there aren't absolute or definitive answers. There are a whole lot of interpretations, a whole lot of arguments. And so the students come away from it, and I tell them at the beginning of the class, I'd rather have you think more about how you construct an argument around any topic from this class than be able to say what the different incarceration rates for black men in 1980 versus 1990 were.
We said, like, generally we think that the artists get most of the blame because they're the ones who are making the music, and they're the ones who are, you know, putting themselves out there and putting those images of black people like in the media. But personally, we think that the executives are the ones that should get the blame, because we were talking about how even if people do, like in that documentary that we watched on Tuesday, there were people who wanted to make good music, but they knew that it wouldn't sell, so they wouldn't try, because executives didn't want to hear that, because executives knew it wouldn't sell. So we think that since the executives like forced the artists to do it in a way, they're the ones that should take most of the blame.
We felt the public was most to blame, only because we buy it is the reason that it's so popular.
There is a conscious sense of scaffolding, and that is best conveyed by a set of messages I repeat throughout the term. But one of the core messages is that I tell students, our first stage is what's going on with the material? What's the argument here? What's the message being conveyed? Then what do you think about it, and why do you feel that way? What's wrong or right? Core thing, some folks, stay close to the literature. Okay? You can't ignore the literature. So make sure that you ground whatever you're going to argue about in what's said in the literature at some point. And almost every couple of weeks, I say, all right, we're going to do this again. Our first order of business is what's going on with the material. I want folks to take a look at this article, but I want to know if this opens up your considerations in any way of hip-hop culture and hip-hop figures. If not, why not? If so, why? The class time for me, in addition to conversation, is an important space to bring in other tools, other resources. So I like them to see images. I think there's something very special, not simply about reading about an ex-offender, talking about his life, but seeing the image of somebody being released from a penitentiary. What's at risk for the way the women dress in the video?
It seems like when we define, I guess, men and women roles and stuff, it's been like that for anything you do. If you're like a man who like sews clothes and stuff, you're a tailor, but if you're a woman, you're just a seamstress.
So should the rules be changed?
They should, but they're not going to be, so, I mean.
But that's it.
Actually, all these things are like socially constructed, and like part of the definition of socially constructed is that like it's created like over time. So that's why things have changed like over time.
I am very deliberate about group work, precisely because I think that students who have a lot to say that are not comfortable talking in a larger setting tend to say a lot in groups. And I think very carefully about how I align my groups. In the beginning, I sort of allow people to speak to whomever they want to. So just to allow them some comfortable space in the beginning to share with each other. Then there are moments where I'll deliberately connect people. So what I'm doing when the small group work happens is I tend to float. And I'm looking at who's doing a lot of talking, who's not doing so much talking. Take notes about what they're saying. I do indeed hope that people understand through the small group work, through the larger conversations, that they have a stake in the question, irrespective of what it is. That is the great challenge in sociology, to get people to think about the collective and the social arrangement of society, given you don't sort of see that. The best way I try to do that is, again, drawing upon their own experiences. Anybody want to defend the music? And if not, why not? Again, I asked you all to think about what you're going to be doing on Friday and Saturday. So what makes it appealing then? if you raise questions about how images of masculinity are promoted there, I don't think I'd be able to do what I want to do if my class were entirely African American, or entirely African American men, entirely white students. So we've got all kinds of people in the space that provide vivid examples of another way or an alternative way. And for me, that's critical about my classroom experience. I need that difference, even if it's just a couple of students. I need that difference to be able to make that come alive in the classroom.